probably make a comment like those little quick checks would be useful.
Yeah, that'd be good. All right, thank you. David, what you got?
All right, so I have a kind of a unique situation where I am teaching world history both in a block and a skinny. So I took the same assessment, the same content, everything, and I kind of got a second swing at it,
cool.
which I thought would be very valuable instead of showing my data on the next
Yeah.
content assessment. So,
Okay.
and while I was making this up, I did the.
You're so
This,
cute.
this doesn't take time at all.
I love
It does it for me.
love the way
So
you
I really, so I had a couple different strategies. Basically, let me start with the data. I had, this is a group of students who are in band and choir, so I have a lot of the higher performing students. I also have several special ed students, so that's kind of the demographics of my class. And you could tell from the data either my instruction worked better, or strategies worked better, or these were just higher performing students. I don't know yet, but that's okay. So I had 13 above proficient, 6 at proficient. I only had 2 that were at partial or not proficient. Both of those students are flexing into retake this week, so I very much trust that they'll do fine. The strategies that I use this time, I like to put different stations out so that while we're studying, the students get a choice of how they study best. They try it out. So I use a Pictionary/charades area where they have a sectional board and students sit in a semicircle and they play Pictionary or charades. They pull it out and they can either act it out or they can draw it. They also really like grudge match. Like we make a game out of
It's
this.
so
I tried it
And-
after you guys told me.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I
so
do
it-
really like it.
So the thing with grudge match and this, I wrote down define, doodle, and connect. That's my more hands-on instruction. With grudge match, I kind of have to run it. I'm trying to figure out a way to get students to run it themselves. I haven't gotten that far yet. But this define, doodle, and connect, I've had really good success with first introduction of the terms. Doing that, we'll define it, and they all laugh at my artwork, which is fine because they're all paying attention then. I'm not the greatest artist, but they remember. They remember how I drew Caesar and his dagger in the back and whatever.
Visual
they-
memory.
And then we keep them on the board and we circle, we make a web out of connecting, okay, these are similar terms, this one kind of goes with this. You know, a scribe would maybe use hieroglyphics or would be termed an artisan or whatever. So we connect them to and try to pool them into similar topics. So anyway, I really like what you had in mind with pre-assessment. I don't know what your chain link thing is, so I know that I want to know what that is eventually. And I like your 4-question check-in. Those are ways that I think I could really help some of these proficients be above and also get these partial or not proficient students from having to retake. But, you know, a higher percentage of above and proficient, roughly 90% were at least proficient. Again, I'm wondering if that's more the demographics of the class being, you know, a lot of those higher performing students that we have. But either way, I'm happy with that because it was only 2 students that had flex. So.
Katie, I'm going to invite you to start us out with a reflective question for Mr. Hyman.
Well, I'm wondering, I know you kind of mentioned that you didn't know if they were higher performers but I'm wondering, what did you notice you did really different based on your first set of data when you did this with your block?
So I gave them more options for how they wanted to study, but I also was very firm with you know, the expectations of that. So if they are doing Pictionary or charades, like they have a certain set of expectations, and if they don't follow them, then they can't participate in it. Same thing with grudge match. I mean, it's kind of, with grudge match, I don't know if you know what it is. You put all their marks up there and then they take away from each other. It's really easy for management if one group of students is not participating or being jackwagons, so to speak, you can take away a point from them, just like that, boom, and then that behavior stops really quickly, because they're like, oh, sorry. So, yeah, I was much more firm with my expectations while we're studying, so that I think helped.
Awesome, thank you.
So I'm wondering about the skinny and the block, because I have that too. And so how do you find that you're on pace with your skinny?
I don't know.
Okay, you're still
Yeah,
figuring that
so
out.
I have a hard time with the skinny sometimes because I plan for a block normally, and it's not as simple as to cut a block in half.
It isn't, yeah, I agree.
So you gotta tweak a little bit to bend around there to make it relevant for the students, but also not like a car stop and start jerky, you know, so, yeah, I'm still working on that part of it, how to best fit it. I tend to always run out of time. I'll be talking, all of a sudden, Ms. Rob will be like, hey, you got like 1 minute. I feel like, oh.
Yeah, that's,
About halfway done drawing Caesar. So, yeah.
David,
Yeah.
when you talked about the block before,
Mhm.
and you talked about the skinny this time, the thing I'm noticing differently for you is you're owning more of the environment and shaping the environment for kids learning.
Mhm.
How did you decide that had to happen?
I'll be honest with you, in the skinny, I have a co-teacher in this route in there, so I have more eyes, I have more proximity, so that helps me a ton with a class over 20, and it's only 21 students, so it's like the skinny's not bad, but that does help me a ton. So if I am working on something and all of a sudden there's a fire over here, her and I work really well together to keep proximity to all the groups. So the focus in my skinny tends to be more on point.
You all three have talked about that today. I don't know that you know that, but I wanted to let you know that what you're talking about is setting up learning opportunities for students, and you're being really mindful about it. That it is, you are the facilitator of the learning, instead of a just stand and talk, and now you go practice. And now I'm gonna tell you some more, and now you go practice. But you're actually giving them opportunities to use language, to use motion, to use visuals, to use verbal. You're really bringing out those powerful strategies. So I think your data is probably highly reflective of teachers who use multiple modalities. And I know that's kind of a trendy little buzzword in education. But when you think about multiple modalities, talking to each other, the turn and talk that you mentioned, the cards, the quick check-in, the analyze, the visual, the actually skin in the game, some games and fun with it, and offering multiple opportunities. You've got really good stuff going on in your classes.